Take a second. Notice your chest rising right now. You didn't plan that breath. Nobody plans breath number 14,392 of the day. But here's the part nobody tells you. That breath just finished a trip that started almost 2 billion years before you were born. Here's the weird part first, because the weird part is the good part. For most of Earth's early history, oxygen would have killed you, not made you cough, killed you, actually killed you. The way bleach kills bacteria. The atmosphere was mostly nitrogen and methane, and life had made a kind of peace with it. Then something small and green figured out how to split water using sunlight, and it started burping out a gas as waste. That gas was oxygen. Scientists call what happened next the Great Oxidation Event, which is a very polite name for what was basically a planet-wide poisoning. Most things died. A few things adapted. And one of the things that adapted got eaten, swallowed whole by a bigger cell. Except it never actually got digested. It just stayed. Set up shop. Started paying rent and energy instead of getting broken down for parts. A biologist named Lynn Markleys spent years arguing this happened, back when most of her colleagues thought she was frankly a little unhinged. She turned out to be right. That stowaway bacterium is still inside you. Trillions of copies of it. You call them mitochondria, and they are, quite literally, ancient roommates who never left. So follow the oxygen. It hits your lungs and slides into tiny sacs called alveoli. There are around 480 million of them, which is a genuinely absurd number of anything to have inside your chest. From there it grabs onto a protein called hemoglobin, shaped almost like a little claw, and your heart shoves that whole payload through roughly 60,000 miles of blood vessels. For scale, that's enough tubing to wrap around the Earth twice, just so one single cell in your left calf can keep existing. And when the oxygen finally arrives, after all that, it walks into your mitochondria and gets handed off into a process a biochemist named Peter Mitchell described. One so strange that people initially laughed him out of the room. Protons get pumped across a membrane like water behind a dam. Pressure builds. Then it's released through something that behaves mechanically like a tiny spinning turbine, and that spin produces a molecule called ATP. That's it. That's the whole battery your entire life runs on. Manufactured fresh, every second, by machines your body inherited from a bacterium that got eaten 2 billion years ago and decided not to leave. Cut the oxygen, and this collapses almost instantly. Otto Warburg, a Nobel laureate who spent decades obsessed with this exact machinery, noticed something strange in cancer cells. They abandon the efficient oxygen pathway entirely, even when oxygen is available, and revert to a cruder, older method of getting energy, the kind of method life used before oxygen existed at all. It's a bit like a modern skyscraper suddenly deciding to light itself with torches. Some people have pushed this system to places that sound made up. The Bajau, a seafaring people in Southeast Asia, have free-dived for food for generations, some holding a single breath for over 10 minutes. In 2018, a geneticist named Melissa Ilardo studied them and found their spleens were nearly 50% larger than average, a built-in reserve tank of oxygen-rich blood that gets released the moment things get desperate underwater. Nobody in the Bajau community asked for this. Evolution just handed it to them, generation by generation, because the ocean demanded it. And here's the part that should actually bother you a little. In 2014, researchers at Radboud University, led by Matthijs Cox, tested a breathing method popularized by a man named Wim Hof, someone most scientists initially dismissed as a stunt performer. The study, published in a serious journal, found that people trained in his breathing technique could consciously blunt their own immune response to an injected toxin. Something you were told was completely involuntary turned out to have a door in it, a door you can apparently open. Which brings us back to right now, your breath. Shallow or deep, fast or slow, doing exactly what it's always done, anxious and breathing fast? That's 2 billion years of survival instinct hijacking a system built to run a poison-turned fuel through your body. You're not just moving air. You're running a chemical reaction older than bones, older than eyes, older than almost everything. And it hasn't stopped once since the day you were born. Go ahead, take another breath. This time, actually notice it.